How's everybody doing?
I'm good.
Pretty peachy.
Another day, another dollar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey guys, we're glad that you are here. It is episode 17
That's crazy.
of Midweek. It is now July 8th, and
Yep.
today we are celebrating Christmas in July. Well, not really, because it's not July 25th.
Look at this
But
beard.
somebody put this in my office today.
Yeah.
I thought it would have been Maddie, but she...
It actually wasn't me. Ew, I got beard hair on me.
She's all about the shenanigans, though. She's all about the shenanigans, though.
Yeah.
But hey, we're really glad that you guys are here. We got some big announcements to make tonight. We're going to talk about what it looks like for midweek to come back in person and get some students back together. We'll get to that in a little bit. But the big thing that I want to focus on right now, just for a hot minute, is church is going back this Sunday.
Yay!
So we're super pumped about that, and you need to register, right? So like we want to see you there on Sunday. If you feel safe doing it, go to hub.firstchristian.com and you can find all the information over there just about what it looks like. There's also a website. It's firstchristian.com/inthistogether. You can go to either one of those locations. You'll find the place that you need to go, and it'll just kind of lay out like what Sundays are going to look like. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm super pumped about it.
Are you
And
hosting?
I'm on stage this week. I'll be hosting.
So.
I'm trying to figure out if I should host while wearing a mask or not wearing a mask. I don't have to because I'm on stage.
Right.
But I thought it would kind of be funny.
Did you have to register?
Did I have to register? If I want to sit in the auditorium, I do have to register.
Oh, okay.
But I'll be
I
backstage
registered.
most of the
I
time.
registered. It was very easy. Very
Sweet.
easy.
There you
Easy to
go.
walk through.
It's easy.
Boom, look at that. How many did you register?
5.
All of you are coming.
All of us are coming.
All of you are coming.
Prepare yourself.
Are you wearing masks?
It asked that, and I felt like I should say yes, but I said no, just in case. Trying to keep kids with masks on is a challenge.
You know what's funny?
What?
What's going to be funny is if you get in there and they decide to like seat all the masked people together and then seat all the unmasked people together.
I'm okay with that.
It's like the danger zone. Like if you go into the unmasked area, it's like welcome to the danger zone. And that Top Gun song is playing in the background. The highway to the danger zone. But yeah, so it's super easy. Even Adam figured it out.
That's right.
And if you don't know him, this is Adam, all around great dude.
Yep.
This is Maddie.
Hey.
My name is Brian. And we're really glad that you guys are here hanging out with us
We are.
on Midweek. But yeah, so go to the hub, go to the In This Together page, RSVP, and here's something else I'll throw out there because this is kind of a big deal. We want help working the parking lot. So like I'm trying to get a bunch of students together that can own this. And so if you're going to come on Sunday, we would love for you to get there a little bit early and help us out in the parking lot. But you got to sign up for that. So I actually dropped the link to sign up for the parking team in the video description. So you can go just below and click on the video description.
Your mom. Go Barb.
I've got a Star Wars mask now, Mom. My daughter made it for me. But I could wear
Are you rejecting the one she made for you?
Well, it's got ties and the elastic is so much simpler. Yeah, I know. Plus, actually, I think we're going to have special FCC masks that
that'll be
I
fun.
I might be wearing on Sunday. So
There you go.
I'll have options.
Oh,
But so here's the deal with the parking team, though. Like we're going to have people out like in the parking lot holding up signs, waving, welcoming people onto our campus, and we just thought that'd be a great role for students to help out at. So sign up, use the link, don't wait. We're kind of getting desperate because we haven't had a lot of people do it. So I'm begging you, please join the parking team. And if you join the parking team, I'll pop a popper for you. Like this. Woohoo! And it'll be fun. So join a parking team, click the link, do it. And no more begging. I don't want to beg. I don't want to put myself in that kind of situation anymore.
But we will.
Adam, are you gonna help out with the parking team?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Sure. Boom! I got one.
Is that it? Just one?
Only 16 more to go. No, I have no idea who's signed up to help with the parking team or not yet. But that's something that we're doing. So that's a big deal. Do that this Sunday, or do that before this Sunday. Do it like right now so you can be ready to serve on parking team. We'll have some of our team members there. You'll have friends. It'll be great. It's gonna be a great day, and it's gonna be good just to worship together. I'm super excited.
Me too.
About worship. Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Hey, have you ever like met that person, like that Christian who like they say all the cliche like Christianese phrases. Have you met
Yes.
that person?
Yes.
And then they like pretend that it's in the Bible. Have you seen that?
Uh-huh.
We got a great video today. Cool Carl did a video called like that's not really in the Bible, something like that. Bible verses people quote that aren't actually in the Bible. So we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna tune out. We'll be back here in just a couple of minutes, and we'll give you guys a little bit more updates. We're gonna laugh a little bit, have fun a little bit, and then Maddie's gonna talk about relationships.
Woohoo!
Okay, so we'll see you back in just a couple of minutes. Enjoy this.
Hi there, little chicken nuggets. It's me, Carl. Hey. As Christians, we often find ourselves quoting some of our favorite verses. Some like Philippians 4:13, John 3:16. One of my personal favorites, Proverbs 27, verse 14. Don't talk to me until I've had my morning coffee, you know what I'm saying? It's humor. But then, there are some who like to quote Bible verses that just like my desire to explore infinitely dark, mysterious caves. It doesn't exist. I'm extremely claustrophobic, and I'm afraid of the dark, and afraid of infinitely, because I don't know what that means. I'm afraid of things I don't know, and I'm afraid of things I don't understand. Like, where do babies actually come from? So I present to you my all-time favorite Bible verses that are not in the Bible. God works in mysterious ways. He does. Cleanliness is next to godliness. Yes. Pride comes before the fall. Yikes. It's nice to be important, but more important, to be nice. Smile. If you take one step, God will take two. Does that make sense? If He closes one door, He'll open a window. Let go and let God. Just do it. That's Nike. God gives His hardest battles to His strongest soldiers. I'm in the Lord's army. Yes, sir. Don't be so heavenly minded that you're no earthly good. What? Give a man a fish, feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, feed him for a lifetime. God will never give you more than you can handle. Spare the rod, spoil the child. You're a wizard, Harry, and you're a hairy wizard, Hagrid. This too shall pass. Follow your heart as long as you're happy. 10 points to Gryffindor. If there's hair on your ears, then there's sin in your heart. Jesus, take the wheel. When the sea is rough, know it will be calm. When the sea is calm, know it will be rough. The devil made me do it. He probably didn't. What you need to do is pray for a hedge of protection. Your vibe, it attracts your tribe. Clean hands, pure heart, good grace, good God. Wash your hands, you sinners. Hate the sin, but love the sinner. Do your best, and God, He'll do the rest. That's good.
This has been our favorite Bible verses that aren't actually in the Bible with Cool Carl. Thanks for stopping by.
I'm letting go. Jesus, take the wheel. Jesus, take it from my hands. Clean hands. What is happening?
That's horrible.
Good grace. What's going on?
Oh no.
Look who decided to show up to class. Look who decided to take scripture out of context.
I don't want them to take it out of Mr. Context, Mr. Potter. I thought you were my friend, Harry.
And scene. Christians can be funny too.
Man, I loved the Harry Potter impression. I thought his Harry Potter impression was
It was
spot
It
great.
was pretty
It was great.
impressive.
spot on.
Pretty impressive.
Do you guys do any impressions?
No.
No.
No, do you?
Nope.
None.
You're
None.
lying.
You're a
Zero.
liar.
I
You're
don't do any
lying.
impressions. Hey, let's do that. Remember last week we showed that TikTok video, right? At the Maddie
The
made
brown Listerine.
brown Listerine.
Listerine.
That brown Listerine, it'll erase every kiss you ever had.
Yes, Jesus couldn't even turn that
And
brown
then
Listerine.
like he
Every
was
word
like
you ever
dousing it
said.
in holy water. Well, let's try the
We
brown.
got brown Listerine.
Listerine.
Probably shouldn't shake it. Okay.
What if you shake it? Does it like activate?
The bubbles.
Yeah,
I don't
Fizzy.
know.
dude. Have you used brown Listerine before?
Not since I was a kid.
Since you were a kid.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
This was
It
a
just
long
smells
time
like
ago.
Listerine. Okay, ladies first.
Thank you. Wow. That's,
Ladies first.
put it in the cap and shout it out like.
Oh, the cat.
Like a
Is,
lady.
is that what it's
Oh.
for?
Like
Is,
a lady.
is the cap supposed to be
I
like...
haven't smelled Listerine or mouthwash since like middle school band because that's what they used to would like spray on all the mouthpieces so like we could share 'em.
Really? Listerine?
Yeah, so like this just brought me back.
You guys shared mouthpieces?
Yeah,
That's disgusting.
yeah. It was pre-corona. How much are you supposed to use? Like a lot?
I don't know.
More. I really had no idea.
Okay. Am I going first?
Yeah.
Okay. I hate you so much. You're the worst. And it burns. I'll be right back.
Where'd she going? Where is she going?
I don't know.
What just happened?
I don't know. But
She-
she left us.
She just left.
What are we spitting? Are we spitting into that thing?
Well, did I like?
Or just on
Why
the floor?
did you
like Maddie?
leave?
Because it was like on my face.
What was?
The mouthwash.
The mouthwash or the party popper?
Oh, both? Is it on my face?
I don't know.
No, I don't
Oh.
I thought maybe I burned you. Like, I
Oh,
thought you
no,
got
no,
a
no.
because...
No, the mouthwash went like all over my face.
Oh my goodness.
That was good.
That was timing.
good. That was good.
Impeccable.
So here's the deal though, like before service, I'm over here, I'm staring at my laptop, probably searching the Amazons, and Maddie just like got me with the party
I
popper.
did.
So
It was nice.
had to retaliate.
Good job.
So anyways, continue.
I gotta fill my
Brown
my thing back up.
Listerine. That was awesome, by the way.
It smells very strong.
It
in
does.
here.
Okay.
It's like all over. Oh, no.
It's okay.
Okay,
It's gonna
ready?
smell really good in here.
Don't. Does he have
Whoa.
another one?
I don't know. I was more concerned what
No,
was
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna like waterfall it, and then I'll give it to you. Mmm.
I'm gonna wait to see what he does with it.
Mm. Mhm. 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 Mm. 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 Mm.
Oh God! Ah! I should throw all of that at you. You're the worst. You got it on Santa. Ugh. Ugh.
The aftertaste. My tongue's numb.
I
Ah,
know my tongue is like burning.
brown Listerine. Wow, that's strong. I'll give you $20 to drink that.
No. That
No?
would be so
Okay.
Make
stupid.
it 50.
$50.
Just kidding.
Dude, I might do it for $50.
50's a lot of money.
$50 is a lot of money. That was bad.
That's rough.
Yeah, it doesn't.
No wonder
It
they
like burns.
no wonder they came out with other flavors, because that was pretty nasty. Anyways, Kyle, the creative team, they're going to come in tomorrow and they're going to be like, it smells so
Listerine.
freshy.
Party
So freshy in
poppery.
here. Well, hey, we want to catch you up on a couple of things. We're super stoked about this. Last week, Maddie and I went over to Edgewood, which actually is not called Edgewood anymore.
Oh.
It's...
What's it called?
I think that they're going to call the building B.
Like, no. I'm laughing at my mouth, not the building name.
Building B.
You can laugh at the name. It's fine.
No.
Are they really?
It was actually on the table.
Oh.
They were like, let's just call it Building B. This will be Building A. And I said, that's stupid. Building B, I think, is dead. Edgewood is dead. And I think what we're calling it is the Community Life Center.
Community Life Center.
Because we're the community and we're alive.
I think we just call it the Center or the CLC. I don't know. We'll see.
Looks like a lot to put on a sign.
Right. I don't know.
You know what would be easier?
Just call it the Student Center?
No, just you want that. I was gonna say that, but I didn't. You never know who's watching.
Oh man! Oh hey! Jordan says that we didn't have her overseeing over here as the dental professional. Woohoo! Party people! And then she said, "Please do not ingest Listerine." We did read on here, by the way, Jordan, that this has like a 26% alcohol content. So. I can't imagine that would be healthy for us.
Jordan, I have a question. If I spit it out into the cup, but then how your spit is still a little if I swallow that, am I okay or am I gonna die?
Good.
Okay.
No, you should spend the next 20 minutes spitting into this cup.
No, you can have it back.
So yeah, we'll see what happens with the name of the building, but we know for sure that when you go into the building and we brand that right side of the building, the auditorium side, that's going to be the student center.
Woohoo!
That's going to be ours.
That's exciting.
But anyway, so we walked through it. We're game planning all the lights and all the tech and buying stuff and building out a cafe
I
and
love
creating
spending money.
some living room spaces. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm super excited about that. There was also I came into the office today and I like bobbleheads.
It was
do you
a good
like
day.
bobbleheads?
Who does?
Do
I
you
don't
know
have
how many
any, but I
bobbleheads
like
you
them.
have? Because I do.
Did you count them?
I did.
How many?
39.
That's
I've
a
got
lot
more
of
at my
bobbleheads.
house that aren't out.
I believe it.
So 39. That's such a weird number. I feel like I need to add one just to make it 40.
I
But I have these bobbleheads, and Maddie decided to cut out her face, Kaylee Strompel's face, and Kyle Reed's face,
Yes,
and tape their faces on every single one
I did.
of my bobbleheads. And then there was
Okay.
also some shenanigans today around the office with Tim Bussey and his car. Anyways, if you don't know Tim Bussey, he's got a couple of you guys who are in our student ministry, you could know him as Dad, but he's our disability pastor here at FCC and oversees our disability ministry. And so maybe you checked out my Instagram story today, but I thought it was full of lots of happy things. So I thought I would throw out all the happy things that happened during the day today that hit my Instagram story.
Yes.
So here's a solid 90 seconds. Enjoy. So just rolling into my office this morning, and somebody decided to have a little fun with all my bobbleheads. Some familiar faces. Crazy. All right, so we like to have fun around here. People play games, put little pictures of people's faces on people's bobbleheads. Ha ha ha. It's all funny. But this went to a whole other level. You gotta check this out. Look, I'm upstairs, but down in the lobby. Look, there's the entrance. There's a car. It's in here. Shenanigans, dude. People are all about shenanigans around here. At least it's not my car. But that is Tim Bussey's car. Have fun, Tim. Try to get that sucker out of here. By the way, I had nothing to do with this. This was not me. Hey guys, my name's
He's
Tim
gonna
Bussey.
see us over here. Look.
I don't know where my car is. He's so confused.
Kelly's calling.
Oh.
Hey.
I don't know who you think you are, but you can't just park anywhere you want.
I hope you know I just sweat. You see that? That's from me walking around this entire place going, I don't know where my car is. I honestly don't know where my car is.
Tim, how did you get in here, buddy?
How to get in here? I don't know. I wish.
So if you see Kyle, maybe congratulate him.
Good job.
So here's the deal. There's a little bit of backstory here. So basically, Tim would come out and find his car moved every day. Every day his car would be moved. And sometimes it was super little subtle, like it was like 2 parking spots over. Or sometimes it was like over on the other parking lot. And come to find out, like Tim just bought this car and he didn't know this, but there was a spare key in the glove box.
Oh, Tim.
That's perfect.
And Kyle, knowing Kyle, he saw Tim's car. He's like, you know what? I wonder if the doors are unlocked. And so he got in Tim's car and then just was looking for something to do, like something to mess with him about. And then he looks in the glove box and he finds a key to the car and turned it over. And he's had it, like, he's kept the key for like 3 or 4 days and he keeps like moving the car around. Maybe since last week. I'm not really sure when that started. But then today the car worked its way inside of the building.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
The only way that could have been better is if it followed up with cops pulling in afterwards.
Well, we thought when Tim was like on the phone, like pacing outside, we're like, he's filing a report, guys. Like, he's calling the popo.
He actually left a note on his steering wheel that was like, whoever keeps messing with my car, stop it.
Yep, that happened. That's a real thing. Well, hey, me and Adam, we're going to get out of here, and we're going to hand things over to Maddie for a few. But after Maddie shares for a few minutes, we're going to come back and we're going to share more about what it looks like for student ministry to gather in person in the very near future. Okay? So we'll be back. We'll be back. Hang out with Maddie.
Adam, I'm taking your seat though. Leave that.
Keep it. Oh.
Hello. Welcome to Wednesday with Maddie. Wow, that's exciting. No, but today's an exciting day. We're talking about relationships, which is always fun. And everybody, you know, at some point in your life, pretty much all the time, you're in some sort of relationship, whether it's with your friends, whether it's with your family. Jesus, probably not in that specific order. Jesus should probably come first, but you never know where you're at. And the thing about relationships is they're hard. Nobody's really good at them. They're always changing because people always change, so relationships always change too with them, and we're going to try our best to figure them out together today. But I thought it would be fun to start off. I asked a couple of the youth leaders what their favorite relationships were in the Bible. Not necessarily specifically with like someone and Jesus, but like between a couple people, because believe it or not, the book is Bible is actually a book about relationships. It teaches you how to be a good person, what to do to follow Jesus, but also how to treat others. So I asked Jordan, our resident dentist, and she said, and I quote, "Oh golly, there are so many. The first that came to my mind was Ruth and Naomi, because Ruth had an encounter with God as Naomi became her mother-in-law, and she was willing to give up any potential of a future in value by starting with her and going to her home country as a foreigner because God had captivated her heart. Naomi wanted the best for Ruth and wanted her to have a second chance with her family, but she allowed Ruth to step into hardship and being an outsider when they stayed together. Without Naomi's influence on Ruth, we would not have Jesus since she is in the line of David." Also good. She also said she likes the relationship between Jesus and Peter because Jesus is never condescending or rolling his eyes at Peter, although Peter keeps messing up. If you remember, like, the rooster crowing thing, that happened. But Jesus shows a lot of grace towards Peter and compassion and is always loving towards him, even though he messes up. And then another one, I asked Brian, because he is in the office next to me, and it was easy. And he said his is David and Jonathan, because even though David was a king, he could have killed Jonathan because Jonathan called David out on his crap. Everybody's got that friend, or should at least have one friend that can call you out on your crap, and Jonathan was that person for David. Adam, I should have asked you. Do you have a favorite? Putting you on the spot. You can say no.
Do I have a favorite friend?
No, like a favorite relationship in the Bible, like... Jordan kind of got mine. Ruth and Naomi was in my top one. I also like Job and his 3 friends. I can't pronounce his 3 friends' names.
Did we actually like
Jesus and Peter?
Jesus and Peter, yeah.
We did a lesson on Ruth and Naomi too just a little while ago.
We did, yeah. We actually kind of talked about like how to treat others too in our creation series. But it's a good topic, so thought we'd hit it again. So when I was in high school, the youth leader at the time taught us about relationships, and it was a huge game changer for me because I was terrible at them. Still kind of am, Not as bad as I was though, but I just couldn't understand or wrap my mind around how you go deeper in relationships and how you get them to not be like just surface level. And I'm guessing that's probably something a lot of you struggle with too, because you're around the same age I was when I learned this lesson. And it's always a good lesson to keep learning and relearning. This was good for me to even go back and write this because I needed a refresher. Let's be honest. Sometimes we just aren't the best at relationships or connecting with people. And like I said, this doesn't necessarily mean like when we talk about relationships with a significant other. It can also mean with friends, with family, with Jesus. And we're going to touch on all of that a little bit. But as we've learned, and as I said before, the Bible is a book about relationships. And as people, we're made to be in relationship with others. God made Adam, and after he made Adam, if you don't know that story, Genesis 1:1, Adam was the first person ever on the earth, which is super cool. But after God made Adam, he said in Genesis 2:18, he said, "It is not good for the man to be alone. I will make a helper who is just right for him." So God saw that Adam was alone and it wasn't good, and so he made Eve. And it's really pretty awesome. My favorite book in the Bible is Romans 12, or I guess verses, is Romans 12, 9 through 10. We actually covered that, like you used that verse a couple weeks ago too, but it's my favorite, so I thought I'd use it again because it really applies really well to this. And it says, "Don't just pretend to love others, really love them. Hate what is wrong, hold tightly to what is good, love each other with genuine affection, and take delight in honoring each other." I don't know about you, but every time I read that, I kind of think, well, man, that's how I want to be treated, and that's how I want to treat others too. And you should be actively trying to love the people around you the best you can. In reality, though, you're going to be closer to some people than you are other people, and I found this thing called the relationship circle that lays this out, because this was also a hard thing that I struggled with when I was learning about relationships and how to go deeper with them. I kind of assumed that like everybody had to be your best friend. And because of that, I put a lot of pressure on myself and stressed myself out a lot because I felt like I was overexerting myself in these relationships, but that's not actually the case. So let's bring up this relationship circle. I'm gonna walk through it and explain it for you, but it's gonna pop up on your screen. So the first circle is you and God. That's it. That's like the number one most important thing in the circle is you and God. And the next ring around that is like your best friends, the people that knows like your secrets and that like that you know theirs back. And that's usually 1 to 2 people, depending on who you are. It can change. But the one outside of that is like your friends, like, you know, they're not your best friends, but they're still your friends and you still like hang out with them and like them. And that's around 5 to 10 or plus people. Like I said, that can change. If you're more introverted or like quiet, it might be on the lower number, but if you're more like outgoing and out there, it might be on the outer number, and neither is wrong. And then the one after that is acquaintances. These are like the people like you'll work with or like see you around town and you're like, oh, hey, your relationship is pretty much you just say hi to each other and wave at each other and that's it. And then all the like, I think it's like a brown color on the outside or like a tan khaki. Those are strangers. Those are people you see walking around that you don't really know that well. They're just kind of there. But a thing to keep in mind and a thing that is important is this circle layout is different for everybody. There's going to be seasons where you have 1 to 2 people in that best friend circle, which is kind of your inner circle. It's not your like, it's not the first circle because that's you and God, but it's the one right outside of that. And there's going to be seasons where that also changes. And the thing that I learned is your heart doesn't have a limit on people that you can let in and love. It kind of grows like the Grinch did in the end of the movie, which I always thought was cool. But I'm also a firm believer that God puts people in your life at the right times for the right reason. And I've seen this case multiple times throughout my life. One being is with my best friend, Emily. We actually grew up in youth group together. She's like a couple years older than me. So she was a senior when I was a freshman, but we actually grew up in youth group together, grew up in church together, and actually worked at the exact same place for a whole year before we even became friends. And I always thought that was cool. And then another example is with my ex-boyfriend. I think if I would have met him sooner, we wouldn't have ended up dating at all. But both of those relationships look different now because one of them I still talk to like every single day. I haven't today though. I should probably text her. Yeah. But then the other one, like, I don't talk to at all anymore, and that's okay. And I'm thankful for both of those, because both of those have taught me important lessons about how I want to be treated and how I want to treat others. So some of you are probably sitting there at home or at your friend's house, and you're like, all right, Maddie, this stuff is good, but how do you actually build the relationship with someone? And this brings me back to high school. Like I said, I was quiet, didn't know how to really make relationships, and then I was sitting in youth group, and our youth leader was teaching about relationships, and they showed us this thing called the relationship cycle. Not the circle, but a cycle. And this was a huge game changer for me. I'm a visual learner, so for seeing this like laid out really like helped me. So I'm going to show it to you, and I'm going to walk you through it just like I did the circle. So this is the relationship cycle. So every relationship starts out as superficial. It's that moment when you see somebody and you like exchange like handshakes. Not right now though, because of Corona. And you like say hi to each other. And then you go one step further and you gather like information. Like, I'm pretty sure the first day of work here for me, like I walked up to Brian, or he walked up to me, and I was like, hi Brian. And he was like, hi Maddie. And he was like, I like fish. And I was like, I like the Golden Girls. And that's that. That's gathering information. And then the next step, though, is vulnerability. This is when you get a little deeper than gathering information. You kind of tell that person something that you wouldn't really tell, like, everybody else in the world. It's kind of one of those things that, like, you only tell, like, your closest friends. And then at that point, it can go one of two ways. It can go, that information is accepted, or that information is rejected. If it's rejected and the person is like, well, shoot, why'd you tell me that? That's like the weirdest thing I've ever heard, and now you're like the weirdest person I've ever seen. You start to shut down. You become this like impenetrable wall. You put up walls, and the relationship goes back to being superficial because you can't enter that next step of vulnerability to make the relationship grow further. But if the relationship is accepted, you go into the stage of self-disclosure, and it goes back and forth of being known. You keep telling each other like more things about yourself that like you wouldn't tell other people, and it goes back and forth, and you really, really get to know each other. And then this brings to agape love. And if you don't know what the word agape means, it means the highest form of love. And another translation of the word is the love of God for man and of man for God. And I think that's a pretty powerful word, because like love is just like, oh, that's cool. But then like the type of love that God has for us, that's like 10 times cooler. But each one of these has a little chart off it. And the first one is effective witness. And I don't have these verses on the screen for you. I'm just going to read them. But the first one is Romans 15:5-6. And it's may God who gives this patience and encouragement help you live in complete harmony with each other, as it's fitting for followers of Christ Jesus. Then all of you can join together with one voice, giving praise and glory to God, the Father, our Lord Jesus Christ. So what that means is you kind of center your relationship around Jesus, and you can praise him and glorify him together as friends. Or anything else. I guess it can go, within marriage further, but whatever. And then the next one is God's kingdom grows. So that one is John 13:34. I've got it here. And it says, so now I am giving you a new commandment. Love each other just as I have loved you. You should love each other. Your love for one another will prove to the world that you are my disciples. And this one I think is really cool, but it's because it's kind of like how we should just treat other people in general, by loving other people and being a good example. You're being an example of Jesus on earth, and I always think that's pretty cool. The next one is unity, and that is John 17:20-23. It says, I am praying not only for these disciples, but also for all who will ever believe in me through their message. I pray that they will all be one, just as you and I are one. As you are in me, Father, I am in you, and may they be in us too, that the word will be believed you sent me. I have given them the glory you gave me, so they may be one as we are one. I am in them as you are in me. May they experience such perfect unity that the world will know that you sent me and that you love me and that you love them as much as you love me. This one is pretty cool because it just is basically like you love Jesus, they love Jesus, and by loving Jesus together, you can love others better. And then the next one is other disclosure, and that one is 2 Corinthians, which is actually one of my favorite books in the Bible. I gotta get to it with my little sticky. And that starts at 11, verse 11, and it says, "O dear Corinthian friends, we have spoken honestly with you, and our hearts are open to you. There is no lack of love on your part, but you have withheld your love from us. I am asking you to respond as if you were my own children. Open your hearts to us." So this one is just by being open with your friend that you're at that level with, it allows you to be more open with other people because you're in that relationship, and you kind of like, for me, I've always viewed this one as you kind of see that it's like, it's not that scary. I mean, it does sting to be rejected, but being accepted outweighs the possibility of it being rejected. And so for me, that's kind of one of those things that every time like I start to form a new relationship with someone or it's a friend, I always get a little bit of fear of being rejected. But then I think back to this one, I'm like, well, I can deal with that because being accepted, I don't know, it just seems like it would be so much better. So that's that. So how does this relationship cycle work with our relationship with God and Jesus? And that is a great question. We went through the entire accepted part, which is the biggest part of that cycle. And the cool thing about that is your relationship with God is God already did that whole accepted part with you. He already put everything out there. It's the book called the Bible.
You're still in the picture.
I'm not on here.
Okay.
Maybe it's just lagging.
It was lagging.
Oh, it was lagging. Okay.
You're good. Sorry.
You're good. But God already put himself out there for you, and he told us everything about him. He held nothing back. It's this thing called the Bible, and then we can see it outside too in creation and through other people. But the problem we run into is we don't always accept him back in our relationship. We put up these walls. We reject him, even if we don't like realize we're not intentionally rejecting him, but we just let things get in the way of that. But relationships take two parts. They take two efforts, and your relationship with God, you got to put in the work too, just like anything else. You have to constantly be striving to know more and to want to do or to want to be in that relationship with God in order for it to grow. You can either even take it a next step further and combine your relationship with God and your friends, which is like, holy cow, that's big. Because if you think about it, your church friends, it's like, well, yeah, like those are centered around Jesus because you go to church together. But think about the friends that you go to school with that you don't go to church together. Can you imagine telling them about Jesus? Some of you are like, that sounds terrifying. But then some of you are like, I've already done it. And I will say this, it's important that you have your own relationship with God. You don't want your relationship to God to form into a relationship with someone else. It's important to keep those separate. Like you and your God, remember that circle thing? I'll throw it back up. You and God are in the center, and then everybody else is around that. So we've been talking about our ones for a long time, and it's important. And if you're like me, I've got multiple ones, and maybe you don't, which is okay, but I have some ones that like I don't even think I'm on that level where I can talk about Jesus with them yet. So this is a really good thing for you to do and for you to build that relationship with, because maybe that's what needs to happen. Maybe you haven't talked to your one about Jesus yet because you're like, I don't really know how to like take the next step in building that relationship. And this relationship cycle, that's pretty much how you do it. So you can take that, use that, grow the relationship with them. I'm going to be doing it, but yeah, it can be a scary thing, and I promise it's not as scary as it seems. Everybody kind of gets all terrified when it comes to putting yourself out there and meeting people because we're all afraid of being rejected, but it doesn't always happen. So don't be that scared. But that's what I've got for today. We're going to pray. They're going to come back up, and we're going to talk about announcements, which is fun. So let's pray. Dear God, thank you so much for this day. Thank you for giving us people in our lives and around us that love you and that we can be in a relationship with and grow together with. I pray that you would help us be able to peel back our boundaries and barriers and really go in to what it looks like to be accepted by others and to accept others into our lives as well. I pray that you would help us to grow those deep relationships and those relationships with our one as well, so that we could bring them closer to you and help them to get to know you better, because you love them, and that's what we want, is for them to see that. So thank you so much, God, for everything you're doing. Amen.
Amen.
Isn't it kind of cool how like I pray and then I open my eyes and then they're just
There's
there?
people here. People
Crazy.
here. Oh man, hey, good job. Thank you so much for sharing, Maddie. I
Thanks.
appreciate just your words and your heart and all that was really, really so good. Okay, so we're gonna wrap things up here, and here's what we want to do. I want to get you into a couple of like big things that you need to know. Okay, so
Done.
it's time
Drum
to
roll.
start hanging out again.
Yes!
Yay!
Praise Jesus.
That one actually like got my hand a
That
little
like
bit.
yeah. Be careful there. You know, we don't want to have like a fireworks accident where we have to take you to the ER because you blow off your fingers using them.
I don't think a popper
Or one
would
of
do
ours.
that. Although, is your mouth like from that
Yeah, it's
mouthwash?
still a little weird.
Yeah, my like talking through that whole thing, my mouth was like, why? My tongue is like, whoa.
Brown Listerine.
Brown
Very
Listerine.
fresh.
But yeah, hey, so it's time. We've done this long enough. I think we've played it really, really safe. Church is
Yes.
going back this week. We're ready to start getting back and hanging out with you guys. So here's what this looks like. We're not ready yet to go back to full swing in-person midweek here on our location, but what we are ready to do is we're ready to start doing some hangouts outside of this building at different people's houses. And what we're going to do is we're going to create, we've already got this lined up. We've got 4 locations where you can go and watch midweek with groups of friends next Wednesday.
Woo!
So
That's
next
awesome.
Wednesday, a week from today. So we've got 4 locations right now. We've got a North Canton one over off of Apple Grove. That's actually Daniel and Jordan's house. So they're going to host.
Can we go to that one? I feel like that'd be fun.
Maybe someday. We've got another one over in kind of in the Belden area, still North Canton, but over towards Belden. And that's the Gardners. They're a family. Kylie Gardner,
Oh, yeah.
Luke Lehman's really good friends with Kylie and her friends. They're going to host a location.
That's awesome.
And then we've got the Musselmans out in Uniontown. They're going to host a location. And then we've got a 4th location, the Getchies. The Getchies are going to host, which is really close here to church. It's over by Glenwood, or no, which one was that? Oakwood, maybe. It's over here by Glen Oak High School. It's kind of over here in Plain Township. But we're not sure yet if they're going to host next week or not. But what's going to happen is we're going to do the Plain Township location. If the Getchies aren't able to host next week, they're able to host the weeks after that. And that's Grayson's house, by the way. And if they are able to, and if they're not able to host next week, we've got a backup in mind.
We do.
That we'll share with you later. So here's what we need to happen, though. Instead of like just opening up the doors and saying, hey, go show up at wherever you want, we have a system set up so that you can register. So in the link notes, or I'm sorry, in the video description here, there's the link for parking team, right? But there's also a link for you to register for a specific watch party. Okay, so it's super easy, it's super quick, but you need to do it super soon.
Oh, I found it.
Is it on there?
It's right there.
Boom, even in blue.
Look at that.
You just click it.
Even in blue.
And what happens is as students register for spots, available spots go away for those locations.
Yes.
Okay, so talk to your friends, figure out what location you'd like to go to, and it's going to be fun. We'll send out emails at the beginning of next week with the address for your location, as well as anything else you need to know, like if you should bring a camping chair or if you want to bring some snacks, all that kind of stuff. Certain host sites might be doing food. They're not required to, so we don't really know what's going to happen. But because of COVID, we've got to be super careful about sharing food.
Yes.
Okay?
It might be one of those like bring your own snacks
It might
situations.
be. It could be one of those things where you bring your own and you eat your own, and let's not like get everybody's hands all up in your chip bag or anything like that. So, and let's not share like Coca-Colas.
Right.
I saw a thing where you can wear a mask and just fill it with candy and chew on it all
I
day.
figure like that's a thing. Like, don't they do that for animals?
That's
They'll put,
gonna
like,
be
these
me on Sunday morning.
That would be good.
That'd be awesome. I'm all about that kind of
Yeah.
ingenuity. And yeah. Anyways, so hey, we're really excited. And so here's the other part of this, and I'm really pumped about this part. We're gonna bounce from location to location. So we're gonna bring midweek, like this little live podcast type of thing we got going on here, and we're gonna show up at one of the watch parties every week.
But we're not going to tell you which one.
And we're not telling you which one. It's
Yeah.
going to be a surprise.
It is.
And it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm super excited
We
about
might
that.
bring Adam.
And
you never know.
Here's the thing I think
Just
that
kidding.
we have to realize too. When we show up at a location, we're probably bringing stuff with us. Like, one, the kids that are at that location, they're going to get to play some games and be on
Yeah.
camera and stuff. And then two, I think like we just show up with pizza and food, like to the locations
like
that we
that.
go to.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea. We'll serve it in a safe, hygienic
Yeah.
type of way. You know, we won't like spit the COVID on your pizza.
Ooh,
But
can I say one thing about registration?
yes,
For you need to sign up like separately from everybody else. So like everybody needs to sign up their own name. You can't like register for you and your sibling.
right.
Their name needs to be in it too because we need everybody's information.
Right. So make sure you sign up yourself. If you got friends that you want to go to the same location with, make sure that they know the location you're signing up for and
Yep.
and have them sign up for it too. Okay. So that's super important.
Yeah, because we
Super
gotta let
important.
like people know who's coming to their house.
Right.
We can't just say like, oh, 15 kids
Right.
or
Right.
whatever.
So that's big news.
Yeah, that's exciting news.
It is exciting.
You know what that calls for?
A party popper?
I was gonna say Listerine, but no! Oh my gosh!
Would that be dangerous?
Yes!
I don't think that's a good
He
idea.
almost shot it into his mouth. Shoot it into Adam's. Don't do it. Don't do it at me.
You missed.
Anyways, we've partied a lot of
We
poppers
partied.
today. But that's the big news. Also, before you guys leave, if you don't yet, because we're going to send out the link this way also, so you don't have to come back here. But if you don't get text updates from us, man, get those.
Yeah.
Text the word students to that number on your screen. That way we can communicate with you, and it'll get you signed up for all those kind of updates. So when we go live, you know that, and when we go when we go back to having in-person student services here on our campus, you know that. When we start planning events, you get all that kind of information. So make sure you sign up for those. And if you're a parent watching, we actually have a completely different word for you to text to sign up for updates. You can go to our website, firstchristian.com/students, and find the information for that. But that's all for this week's midweek. And next week, we got students that are hanging out.
Woohoo!
It's going to be blast.
Exciting.
I think we should do something too as students where maybe we just do like a thing over at Handles one day. Like,
That'd be fun.
we can sit outside, eat some ice cream, or
I'd
Jimmy
be okay
John's.
with that.
Yeah.
Both?
Both.
Hey,
Jimmy John's then ice cream? No,
Sure.
eat dessert first.
Yes.
But anyways, we'll let you guys know. Make sure you sign up for those text updates. Have a great week, guys. We love you. Let us know if we can do anything for you. And we'll see